Hey there and welcome back to our Elden Ring lore playthrough. This is the wrong door, but we're going through the capital. Time to move on. I don't know that we'll do the entire thing in one video because that'll make it a really long video. So I think I'm going to break it up into chunks. Maybe two, might be more, I don't know. But yeah, we got that big view that we talked about before over the entirety of the city. Something is kind of interesting looking, like particularly right there. Looking right there, it's like covered in sand of sorts, or dirt, ashes maybe, right? Like it's kind of like it's all over the rooftops too, right? See all that? Just kind of crazy looking. Like why is it coated like that? Big, like broken, busted buildings too. Birds. The birds add a nice touch to it. That really adds to that like idyllic, you know, utopian city. But look at these things. They're playing these trumpet sounds. Strange little bodies. Very long, weird blue arms. Complete head cover thing. Reminds me, it was like that Knight Maiden helmet, how it uses a silk to cover up the eyes. They're just like completely bundled up in there. Interesting silver medallion things. Circular designs on the robes as well. Oh, she stopped. Look at them roll. White blood. Right. Okay. Are they an artificial life form? Is that why they've got the silver thing? Look at the golden bubble. Now, what's significant about the bubbles? Well, those claymen conjure bubbles, and they look for oracles within their bubbles for their dynasty or something. We'll pull it back up and we can kind of check it. Look at this larger one. Got like an extra like cloth, like drape shawl kind of thing on it. Larger. Oh, wow. Bubbles are like seeking me out. Very bizarre. Super bizarre. And look, there's a gargoyle. Now we've seen it underneath the capital in that nameless city. You can see the double face. He's probably going to spew the spark fire stuff at us. Now look at that. You see that thing, that object kind of thrust into the ground? That kind of double one twisty design, but how it comes up, and it comes up in like two forks kind of looks, is a lot like Fortisak's lightning, right? When he conjures it up and then he slams it into the ground, you can see the same design when you look at purchasing this spell. And then look at all the plants and stuff here, right? Like, I mean, perfumers were a big deal here. I mean, the Erd Tree's a thing, so overall it makes sense that it would be kind of like this, right? Strip of white flesh, so it's a bloodless creature, even though we kind of see that white blood goop kind of spit out when we hit them. So here are the oracle bubbles. Sorcery of claymen who served as priests in the ancient dynasty. Produces several small magical bubbles, blah 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 blah. The claymen search for lost oracles within their bubbles. Lost oracles. Now we've got ourselves an elevator to take us down. Look at the commoners, like bodies of commoners kind of strewn about right there. Looks like we could even jump down. There's a Leyndell Knight as well. Is there a path down underneath this? There is. We could do that if we wanted. We're going here. We can see a perfumer there as well. Look how a lot of these like commoner guys, they are alive. There are a bunch that aren't. And she was like kneeling over that one, like in treatment maybe. Another perfumer hood. I would like the robes or apron. That would be nice. Oh, there's a ladder that'll take us up too. Let's check that out. Is this a broken building maybe? Actually whipping stuff like on the walls as well. Huh. It looks like a noble guy, but he's got like a cloth around his waist and it's all bloody with an item. He looks like he's tied to the chair, dude. That's disturbing. A seedbed curse. A curse grown on a corpse, killed and defiled by the Dung Eater, a tinderpox afflicted with omen horns. Yeah, you can see him there, right? The Dung Eater cultivates the seedbed curse on corpses. By doing so, he prevents dead souls from returning to the Erd Tree, leaving them forever cursed. One of the most loathsome things found in all the lands between. I mean, yeah, Blackguard, he mentioned how he did horrible things to corpses and stuff, right? And he curses them. And you see here, I mean, he's like preventing them from going back in like reincarnation, which is a pretty, like, a lot of that would really be bad. Like, people would not be about that because they're all about the Erd Tree burial and returning to the Erd Tree. And then it's afflicted with omen horns. So the omens are like somehow cursed. So maybe, like, is this creating new omens in some way? Or cursing their spirits to wander around? The race caller bells call spirits, like angry cursed spirits or something. Bunch of perfumers. I just had this other thought, right? So we've got these putrid tree spirits, right? Which, you know, it's, oh Lord, losing frames. It's kind of like, what are they coming from, right? Like, they're somehow a spirit for the tree. Oh, it didn't work out the way I wanted. But they're also like physical, right? For a spirit, they're very physical. But I've been wondering, right, if they weren't supposed to look different, more tree-like, except for the fact that, you know, they're typically found around these Erd Tree burial spots where there's all these bodies, right? Now, what is the purpose of the Erd Tree burial? It's to, you know, return the body, return the soul back to the Erd Tree. Now, what if they can't get there? What if they can't get back? What if, you know, if something's wrong with the Erd Tree, maybe these souls can't go anywhere. So what if these like tree spirits is like all the souls of the bodies buried there, unable to go anywhere, and they've been like forming into this tree meat monstrosity? Isn't that a crazy thought? I have nothing to say that's true or not, but interesting. So at this point, we could go jumping across rooftops. See, this is what's so cool about the Capital, right? There's kind of like the clear, like, all right, I could just like follow the paths, you know, like, oh, take the inside and the hallways and stuff and go the route that seems to be in front of me. But like, you could easily just like start hopping rooftops and like go exploring along there and doing other things, right? Like, there's so many different avenues of exploration and like ways to go through the whole place. It's really cool. That room is a death trap. I mean, we're gonna go through it, but it's still a death trap. Where does that take us? Oh, Leyndell Knight. Okay. Don't mind me. Just gonna assassinate. Boom. I think this drops us down. Yeah, this is... Look at that. I'll loop this back right around here. Now that looks like a trap. Look at the gold Mickle and lilies. There's a soldier right there. I can't hit him for some reason. All right, now for you. Huh, he didn't bleed out. There it is. Now on these doors, look at that yellow substance like sealing the door. I mean, he was looking at it. Maybe he put it there. Maybe he was wishing he could go in. I don't know. But you know what I assume that is? And I don't know for sure because I don't think there's any items that actually say. But I think it's corpse wax. They're like sealing the doors of buildings and homes with corpse wax. Now, why would they do that, right? They're not... The people inside, if there are people inside, aren't doing it themselves. They're getting trapped in there. So it's everybody else outside sealing them in there. Now, why would they seal them in, right? To keep them safe? To like maybe like they don't trust them? Like it's so hard to say, right? So eventually, kind of following down, we end up coming down to what seems to be the main road, right? Like, look at that. I mean, that is the main road for the city. Oh, sweet, awesome. And you just like cool statues like heralding your way forward and stuff. What's interesting though, so where does that road go? So it goes out that way. Because like you would think was a main road like this, it would take to a main gate where people come in and out of the city, right? And there is a gate over there. Path over that way. Okay, so it leads us out here. And look there, there's another like exit outside of the wall. So it's a road that goes up there. Now, what about, I'm still like really hung up on this section. Does that lead along this part right here? And maybe that would somehow lead up into the city as well. Oh, there's a statue of that old guy with like the blooming roots and stuff. I think that's significant of like the Erd Tree's blessings or something like that, right? What is that Crucible Knight doing? What is it looking at? Are those statues? Very fancy, clean building. So it's definitely worth noting just like how... Oh, you cannot do a backstab. How well kept the overall city seems to be, right? As opposed to, you know, like, again, Stormvale or something, where it's just like absolutely like pretty messed up to like siege and ruin. Even some of the other places are not very well kept. This one is, even though like the homes and stuff are all like kind of sealed up or something, right? Oh, big fancy, oh, Heroes Rune 5, and some kind of big fancy golden plaque. Looks really nice. Erdtree iconography, right? All right, yeah, same thing. There were once heroes who walked the battlefields, abundantly blessed by the Erdtree itself, who upon earning their honor simply died. I have some thoughts about that as well, and I'm not sure when the right time to bring them up is. So the path there with the... Oh, is that Tree Sentinel, or Tree Sentinel, oh geez, Crucible Knight was a shortcut back up there to the East Capital Rampart. So we're going to take this other elevator down. Leads us down into some more, just looks like a actual regular like housing district, right? Like living quarters. Because just like the style of house, the other ones were large, fancy, golden. These have just like regular like slate tile roofs, chimneys, you know, like this is where people live. But see how it's also like it's a lower section, right? Which seems pretty typical for how like old school cities and stuff might have been displayed, like your greater like districts or high quality whatever positions would be set up in the higher parts of the city is what I'm trying to get at. But what do we find though? Putrid walking corpses, piles of bodies. Is this why all the houses and homes, like look how they're sealed with corpse wax? Is this why they are sealed? Is to keep things like this out? Or are there things inside the houses, inside of the homes and buildings that aren't actively secured by soldiers? Like, I don't know, like there's been a horrible, huge massacre here, just death everywhere. So like I was just talking about how this place seems pretty well kept and okay compared to, you know, like Stormvale and stuff, but the thing is, it's not. And then what do we see? Skeletons, those who live in death, and they've got black on them. Now, what is that black like? The corpse wax, right? And black corpse wax like the rune of death. It's because we see that with the Black Blade Kindred. I don't know that that's what it is, but that's what I'm going to start saying it is now. Now, what could that thing be? Stone sword key. Sweet. What is that guy doing? He's like arms and like supplication is like what I'm seeing. And there's a lower path there. Okay, some more stuff over that way. I remember doing an invasion here. There was a guy cosplaying his guts. Look at the rumble. It's a future tree spirit. Why would it be here? Again, it's another spot, again, in the plateau where there's these, you know, these things popping up and they're not down in the catacombs like we normally see. Maybe it's because it's such proximity to the Erdtree. Maybe because there's just some other amount of like horrible death and stuff happening here, right? Like, who's to say? Golden seed. Yeah, look at all this dirt, sand. To me, it's ash. It's ash, which is a weird thought because, like, why would there be ash around here, right? I mean, there is also the thought that, like, it's just from all the falling leaves, right? Then the leaves eventually break down, and typically, you know, your leaves are just going to break down into this. It's kind of like soil, basically, but with, like, gold leaves, like, who's to say exactly what it turns out to be like, right? But with the idea of it being ash, it's the question of, like, why? How did this much ash end up in the place? Because the fire is a typically prohibited thing around the Erdtree, right? Because obviously you don't want the tree to burn down. But in the shattering, some of those taboos and stuff were a little more relaxed, right? They see that was the spark aromatic, how like eventually, you know, fire was a forbidden thing, but as the war like dragged on, such things kind of like were forgotten. And so maybe it was like a similar thing there, or maybe, you know, much how there's like all these piles of bodies and some of them look burned. Maybe there was just no other choice, and so they had to burn something away. Okay, that looks like it goes down in a little more like sewer-like, right? See, there's like some low standing water, creepy hand, kind of going into the lower sections of the whole place. Side of Grace though, so that's really good. And an Omen Killer. Look, I always golden eyes, dude. I keep finding all these guys with golden eyes. I mean, not that I'm complaining, right? It's just interesting. Omen Smirk Mask. All right, we'll read it in a second because we're gonna get that Side of Grace and a couple more items in there. Lionel's armor and a deathbed dress. All right, let's rest here real quick. Oh, it's Melina.
My utmost thanks for bringing me to the base of the Erd Tree. Here, I can govern my own movement.
Okay.
And thus, the accord is fulfilled. I shall depart to ascertain the purpose I was given. Farewell. I shall leave Torrent and the power to turn runes into strength. Here, with you, I wish you luck in realizing your ambition. You have fought long and hard. I have no doubt you will become Elden Lord. May you take the throne.
All right, well, there it goes. So, right, why can she govern her movement here? And my thought is because her body is supposed to be here, but she's bodiless, right? She's burned and bodiless. So maybe because it happened here, that's why she can govern her movement. I mean, and her purpose was given to her here in the Erd Tree by her mother. So again, maybe all that like proximity is giving her the strengths to be able to move. Lower Capital Church. The Omen Smirk Mask. Mask with long, hideously twisted horns worn by Omen Killers, increasing strengths. Bears the smirking face of an elder, twisted in wicked delight. Yeah, you can see the crooked missing teeth, right? This visage is carved in the image of the evil spirits that haunt the Omen in their nightmares. So some kind of like elder that's like twisted in wicked delight, and that's what haunts the Omen in their nightmares? Crazy. I mean, it's got horns and stuff sprouting from it, okay? Lionel set. It's a round iron helm with a distinctive large brim, worn by Lionel the Lion-Hearted. When this chivalrous, dauntless knight met Fia, who had been driven from her home, he declared himself to be her father. See, that's why he ended up being her champion, right? Her one of her death's champions in there when we were helping her. It's a banner extending from his back. So we look at it. It's got some like, I mean, kind of like a Three Musketeer thing, right? Like just chivalry is the whole idea he had there. But was he a tarnished though, right? It's kind of a question for us. And then we've got Fia's robe, and then we've got a deathbed dress. Extremely thin and sheer white dress worn by the deathbed companion as she embraced the dead. Slowly replenishes the HP of nearby allies, but not that of the wearer. The touch of the fabric is exceedingly soft, so as not to harm even the most withered corpse, while still sharing her warmth. Yep, there it is. It's a dress. Nice pretty dress. You can almost like see a little bit through it. Very kind of sheer. So, I guess, right, there's a wizard husk of a body, and that's where we found Lionel's army. So did he give her his strength, and it was like, that was like it? That's all he had left, and it helped her on her way, and that's eventually how he died. And then, like, you know, that's then where he went on to be like one of the champions that we fought. Oh, there's a ladder, but we can't reach it. It's got a bell too. So let's check out what's down here, huh? I hear a beetle somewhere. Item right there, we can't reach. It's on the other side. Oh, I wasn't looking. Albinarix. Creepy, freaky Albinarix. Alright, so what are they doing down here? Why are there Albinarix? Oh, the back end of a gargoyle. Hello. Erdsteel dagger. Now, I talked about how I thought the Erdsteel daggers were like made out of like wood or something. And I'm not sure where I got that idea from. It's just an Erdsteel dagger. I mean, it says Erdsteel dagger. That's all it says. Maybe does Kenneth Haidt say something? I don't know. It's got a grass crest engraved on its blade, carried by Erdtree royalty for self-defense in times of peace. Although forged to a high standard, it is difficult to wield. Its attack power also scales with faith. Ooh, hello. Okay. Dragon Wound Grease. There's a wing right there. We got ourselves a Leyndell Knight. Let's get him real quick. Oh, that's where it dropped down. There's a whole section over there, maybe? Okay. Oh, we found ourselves a Site of Grace. Where are we at? Back along the main road. So, like, we dropped down somewhere over here, fought through a bunch of here, went down through some other little channel, and then popped back up on this road. Okay. The place is so dense. I think that's part of why I like it so much. I mean, it's very confusing when you don't like, when you're not familiar with it, but there's so many different, like, layers and levels to it. It leaves a lot to be explored, even though, like, surface area wise, it's maybe not that much. And look how you can overlook, and where are we overlooking? Right where we fought that tree spirit. Hey there, it's the editing pseudo here. I just wanted to talk about the spot here because, you know, there were a couple things about this area I didn't actually touch on that, you know, I feel like I wanted to. So, like, looking on the map, we look at where we are. We're at the edge of this wall. You can see it is kind of like an avenue, right? And I mean, that's what this Site of Grace is called, Avenue Balcony, right? And you can see it goes right on up there. It's kind of weird that it's got houses and stuff, but, you know, whatever, I guess. But the whole point of it is, this ends at a gate, right? If we look right here, it's a gate. No two ways about it. That's what it is, right? And then where should that take us? Out onto a further road, right? Which would then ultimately lead through more lower parts of the city, because this is part of the, let's see, where's it at? Where's the title? Lower Capital, right? Lower section, the lower part of the city. That's where we've been finding all these, like, what looks to be just regular commoner houses. And I mean, looking at the map, look how all the upper half is all golden. And then you've got the red slate down here, like maybe lower class. Are there just common living quarters? Something like that, right? And so there should have been a road that would go in through here. So when people come in, they take this main road up. Maybe there were some other avenues that kind of circled around like this, you know, and a bunch more housing things, shops, common-y type things. And then as you work your way in, you come up and up and up, and you raise higher and higher up towards the Erdtree. Now, why is this filled with water? Who knows? Man, it could have been an accident, could have been done on purpose. Maybe it was to put out a fire, to stop invaders. I'm pretty sure I remember reading something that said the inner walls here were like the only time they were ever breached. No, they've like been breached once, I think, and it had nothing to do with this, right? So I think this was kind of like an accident of sorts, especially because like this section out here, this watery area, is referred to as a moat at some point. And so it's not filled with water. It's very shallow. You can just walk. That's how you're able to reach this sealed tunnel, right? Which should probably be underwater. So maybe something happened between the water in this moat and the water in here. Like, I couldn't tell you. Second thing I wanted to touch on is about the thing right over here. Sorry, I'm going to cough real quick. What do we fight? We fight an ulcerated tree spirit. I keep calling them putrid tree spirits because in my head they're kind of the same thing. But I'm pretty sure the putrid ones are rot inflicted, and then the ulcerated are just the standard. But again, it's weird. Why do we fight it here? It's not in the catacombs where we've typically been finding them, right? There's been a couple now we've seen up on the surface. You know, yeah, why? Who knows? Well, I had this other thought with them, right? Because consistently they are found in those Erdtree burial sites with the great tree roots and stuff like that. But there's another common thread among all of them. They drop golden seeds. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a golden seed in my inventory to read the description, but I pulled it up here. A golden seed found at the base of an illusory tree. Increases sacred flasks' number of uses. When the Elden ring was shattered, these seeds flew from the Erdtree, scattering across the various lands as if life itself knew that its end had come. So, there is no illusory tree there. Anytime we find it off of these things, there is no illusory tree. So I have this thought, right? Like the seed lands and it makes an illusory tree. Like it's almost like sprouting in a sort of spirit form, right? When these things landed, maybe because we find them underground as well, right? We find them down and around in various Eternal City sections. Like we can find them in some pretty outlandish spots. It's like, how did it reach there? Maybe like when it reaches down into some of these catacombs or like over here, it somehow ends up with like bodies, right? Because that's Erdtree burial. There's a ton of bodies. All we see the huge masses of them congealed against the roots. So maybe somehow with that life erupting from the Erdtree and maybe trying to make some spirit tree, it ends up making a tree spirit, but it's ulcerated with masses of flesh and bodies. And so it creates this monstrosity. And so then when we kill it, what do we find? The seed at the heart of it that sprouted the whole thing. That's my thought there. I just wanted to share that idea I had real quick. All right, we're going to come back down there later because we have the site of grace that's closed, so we can come back there pretty much anytime we want. But right up here, we can travel up the wing of this truly enormous dragon. Like, I can't imagine seeing something like this alive, and it descended on the Capital, and they killed it. How did they kill it, right? Like, there's a bunch of gravel stone, because that's what its scales are made out of. I mean, looking at it, like, it's made out of rock, dude. Hey there, soldier. Don't mind me. See you later. Okay, another site of grace. The West Capital Rampart, okay. We can see Golden Tree, Gargoyle, a couple steps down. Let's go down first real quick. Cane Sword. Pretty cool weapon, actually. I mean, I don't know that's like really good or anything, but I just like the text on it, right? Beloved sword of an aged knight whose last quest was long behind him, repurposed into a walking stick. The tip is rather worn because it's a walking stick. Though bent of back and without the brawn required even to raise the sword aloft, still he wished to meet his end with weapon in hand. Yeah, like, it's cool. Wonder if it's talking about anybody specific or if it's just a fun thing that they added in. More of these things. Envoy's Horn. Oh my lord. I was so dreading having to like try and get one of those weapons. I don't know how rare getting the baseline weapon is. The bigger ones are kind of hard to get, but yeah. All right, Envoy. Let's read it. Golden Horn of the Oracle Envoys. Oracles, right? Profoundly weighty. Its blows are sure to be felt. I mean, it's made out of gold. Gold is heavy. Originally an instrument, but one that cannot be sounded by a mere human. Or perhaps it is too early to sound the call. Oracular bubble. Blow the horn to raise a magical bubble. It just floats gently through the air. Pull the lever. It's going to open up the gate below us because, like, way down there is where we started. And when we we face this way, there is a gate. It's closed. We can't normally open it. But now it's open. We can drop down here. Let's do that. There's the other side of the gate. Another set of doors there, but if we look on the map, look what we're close to. Volcano Manor Crest, Fargrim. It's a knight. There's an archer in the back. You can vaguely see him there. Ooh, Gravelstone Seal. Nice. Okay, let's check that out. Seals for casting incantations. Gravelstone, dealing with dragons. Why would it be like that? It's because he's confused. Because they are part of the dragon cult. All the knights seem to have adopted it. Because, like, see how all these Leyndell knights are all using some kind of lightning spells. So it really did get fully, like, integrated into a lot of their fighting force. At least among the elite knights. The soldiers don't really use it. But they do use, like, lightning pots and things like that. So even if they aren't able to manage the spells, they're still using some facet of it. A sacred seal made from gravelstone, thought to be an ancient dragon scale, enhances the dragon cult incantations of the royal capital. The worship of the ancient dragons does not conflict with belief in the Erdtree. After all, this seal and lightning itself are both imbued with gold. So is that the justification they gave it, right? They're like, oh, no, it doesn't conflict. Like, look, it's got gold. The Erdtree's golden. It must be okay. There is our summon sign thing, but let's grab this item. Now, if you're kind of looking, you might recognize this place. This is the lower level of the round table hold. Now, Alberic's set, right? Who did we fight down here before? Mad Tongue Alberic, and gave us the Taunter's Tongue. His pointed hat. So just like how Rajir's, right? Pointed hat, sign of heretical practitioner. Same thing. Set was red glintstone, said to be formed by the blood of sacrifices. Strengthens thorn sorcery. Alberic was aloof yet disturbed heretical sorcerer, said to have been driven mad by jeering tongues during his service to the Round Table Hold long ago. Sacrifices to make some other type of glintstone for casting spells, and thorn things. And what do thorns have to do? They have stuff to do with like the guilty, right? Same thing here. Nothing really fancy to say there, but yeah. Pretty brilliant red gleaming color to it. He's also one of the targets, Errant Sorcerer Willems. Or no, is it? Maybe it's not him, actually. All right, here we go. There's Bernal. Errant Sorcerer Willem. Vargrim the Raging Wolf. Oh, he's got a crown thing as well, right? Oh, Lord. I don't know what that one was. Casting some spell. He's got the Godslayer Greatsword. Look at that. We're going to take care of the sorcerer, I guess. What kind of spell is that? Ah, Night Assassin's Comet. Celian sorceries. Oh, I missed. That's unfortunate. Oh, bugger off. Oh, the back behind my shield thing is really messing me up. Whoop. We need to heal. Ooh. Yeah, you trying to heal too? I've got more. Got him. All right, how you doing, Willem? Or, yeah, you're just fine. Nice. Raging Wolf helm armor. Okay, let's take a look at it. Helm worn by Vargrim the Raging Wolf, one of the first Tarnished to visit the Round Table Hold. His nickname comes from the white wolf's mane that decorates the helm. I wonder if it's like those large ones that kind of like float a little bit, or it could just be regular white wolf. Worn by him, according to the old legends, wolves are the shadows of the Empyrean, and this is what Vargrim aspired to be. See, it's like Blythe, he's like a wolf, right? And he is supposed to be the shadow of Ronnie, and he was, guarding her, and she's an Imperium. All right, so there's a door there, pass over there. So last time we went over here, I think is where we got the Cipher Potter or something. There's an item. Oh, a set of grace. How convenient. Flightless bird painting. That's cool. Find that at some point. This side is the fortified manor, first floor. Okay, we can't get up those stairs. So this is the lower level we were able to go before. Got us access to the bow, black key bolt, yep. Two Fingers prayer book, okay. And some commoners. That's a cooking area. Hey, prayer book containing incantations of the Two Fingers. An item once entrusted to Tarnished worthy of lordship. Can use to gain access to Lord's Heal and Lord's Aid. Ah, right. To Tarnished worthy of lordship. What about this door? We can open it. We're not able to open it in the Round Table Hold. So this is called a fortified manor. Whose manor, though? Abductor Virgin. Okay. Stormhawk Axe. Battle axe designed to resemble a hawk, with its wings comprising the blade. Signature weapon of warriors who strive to remain one with the storm, despite being so far from their place of birth. Their hearts are proud, and thereby easily undone. Yeah, it does a Stormcaller Ash of War thing, but infused with lightning. Super friggin' cool. Now here is an elevator. Where does it take us up to? Look at all those figure dudes, right, standing around, kind of like watching it, guarding. Just like on the Divine Towers. Now, I didn't show it in a video way back when, doing stuff in the Weeping Peninsula. But this is the Tower of Return. This is where it takes you. And it brings you right up here, and you see this huge, awesome gateway, and you know what it's just like. It is just like the walkway up to the Divine Tower of Limgrave. Except when you get up here, the only thing we fight is a golem, and then we get the Blessed Dew Talisman. But if you end up going out here, right, and you're looking, because it ends, there's nowhere else to go here. It's just a big open space looking out into the ocean and the sun in the distance. At least I'd assume the sun, but like, do you actually see a sun in the sky? It's just a light. There is no like physical ball that you can see there. But if you look down, right, What do we see? More broken chasms, wall sections there, right? Part of the walls of Leyndell. But there is a divine tower right there. So maybe somewhere along with the shattering, how things got shifted and moved and broken, maybe this bridge should have lined up with that divine tower. This one right here, the divine tower of West Altus. And it should have walked it right up there, but not anymore. Not anymore. And there's a Ascendant Gate there, actually. Does that take us back to the Weeping Peninsula, I wonder? Oh, no, it takes us here. What? Okay. Why is this... What? Okay, Divine Tower. Isolated Divine Tower. It's tightly blocked shut, just like the other one. I don't remember that taking us here. Interesting. Super cool. Okay, that's where we're going to end this part of the capital. We've got lots more to do, right? But we don't want to drag this on forever and ever, so we got to call it there, and then we'll keep going in the next video. So thanks for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and until the next one, take care.